The sound wasn't just metal. It was arrogance meeting gravity. When my 80,000-pound logging truck rolled over that white Tesla, the silence that followed felt like justice catching up. I didn't cheer, I didn't gloat, I just whispered to myself, "That's the sound of consequences." My name's Marcus Turner. I'm 47, and I run a small logging company just outside the Whispering Pines HOA. For 12 years, life was peaceful birds, pine sap, quiet mornings, the kind of solitude that earns its silence. Until Karen Patterson moved in. She called herself the vice president of the HOA like we were all her employees. From the day she showed up, sunglasses too big for her face and attitude too wide for her property line, I knew trouble had arrived dressed in beige. The first time I saw her, she waved her phone at me like she was scanning barcodes. No hi, no smile, just evaluation. The second time, she parked her Tesla right in front of my gate. That gate was the only way in or out of my 15 acres, deeded, fenced, and clearly marked with private road, no parking. I honked once, nothing. Twice, still nothing. Then she came strolling up the hill in yoga gear mat under her arm, dripping entitlement. "Excuse me," I said, "is this your car?" She smiled like I'd complimented her. "Yes. I'll just be a minute, I have yoga at the clubhouse." "You're blocking my driveway," I told her. "This is community property," she said. "No, ma'am," I pointed at the sign. "Private road. Deeds on file with the county." She sighed, crossed her arms, and with the calm of someone used to winning by tone alone said, "I'm sure we'll sort this out. I'll move it when I'm done." And she just walked away. That was day one. By the time she came back sweat shiny from yoga and smiling like she'd cured cancer, I'd already called the towing company. But they told me if she claims it's HOA property, we need proof before touching it. So when she slid into her seat and said, "You shouldn't hoard public access, Marcus," that's not very neighborly. I realized logic wasn't going to work. The next morning, a letter appeared under my gate latch, gold HOA letterhead embossed logo, and her signature, violation notice. Fine $250 for restricting community access. I laughed out loud. My property wasn't even inside the HOA. Still something about that fake fine dug deep, the audacity, the paperwork armor. She started parking there weekly, sometimes just for errands, once for a wellness luncheon. Every time I confronted her, she flashed her badge, Vice President HOA, like a sheriff's star. When I emailed the board with photos and timestamps, they replied, "Mrs. Patterson's use of the access road falls within reasonable community activity." Reasonable activity, blocking a man's livelihood. That's when I began documenting everything, photos, videos, tire marks, dates, because I knew this wasn't just about parking, it was about power. Weeks passed. My warning signs got defaced with pink spray paint. HOA access only. She even forged a lien notice claiming I owed HOA dues for a road I owned. My attorney friend Tom looked at it and said flatly, "That's fraud. But stay patient. Document. Don't confront her yet." Patience, the one skill every logger masters. You don't fell a tree by rage. You line the cut, measure the angle, and wait for gravity to finish the job. But Karen wasn't done. She escalated. One Saturday, my driver radioed in, "Marcus, we can't get through. Tesla's blocking the gate again." I got there, and there she was, arms crossed, phone recording. "Move your car," I said. "Smile," she said. "You're on HOA camera." "You're harassing me," I told her. She laughed. "Maybe you should be more neighborly." That's the thing about people like her. They don't want to win. They want to humiliate you. Then came the day that broke me. My mother, 80 years old, bad knees, gentle soul, came to visit. I told her she could park near the gate so she wouldn't have to walk far. But when we arrived, the Tesla was there again right across the latch. No note, no apology, just blocking like always. I called the HOA. "We consider that stretch under HOA review," they said. I called the non-emergency police line. "Civil matter, sir." So my mother sat in the car in the sun for 4 hours, waiting. I watched her shoulders sag, her face pale. That image branded itself into me, an old woman, my mother, humiliated by someone else's arrogance. That's when it stopped being about convenience. It became cruelty. That night I walked circles in my living room, phone in hand, ready to call Tom. For the first time in months, I asked myself if I was the problem. Maybe I should just sell the land, move somewhere quieter. But Tom's words came back. Don't move the line for people who refuse to see it. Build it higher. So I did. We planned everything. Every letter, every notice, every camera angle. I mailed her a certified letter. Dear Mrs. Patterson, commercial logging operations will commence Monday 6 a.m. Vehicles obstructing access will be considered abandoned. Stamped, signed, legally bulletproof. Then I posted new reflective signs, huge ones. Private road logging in progress. No parking. 6:00 a.m. to 6:00 p.m. 3 of them each with visible timestamps. I emailed the HOA and copied the sheriff's office. Cameras were installed, motion sensors tested, cloud backup verified. I even left Karen a voicemail. This is your final warning. Do not park in front of the gate Monday morning. Everything was by the book, squeaky clean. Monday arrived quiet and cold, the kind of morning where the air feels heavy with prediction. I brewed coffee, stared out the window at the fog hugging the trees, and felt a strange calm settle over me. It wasn't anger anymore. It was readiness. At 5:47 a.m., I drove down to the gate, and there it was. Her Tesla, bright white, perfectly centered, defying reason. She'd signed the letter, seen the signs, heard the voicemail, and still parked there. I called her phone. Straight to voicemail. I left another message. Karen, this is Marcus. Logging traffic starts at 6. Move your car now to avoid damage. At 6:03, the Kenworth rolled up. 40,000 pounds of Douglas fir stacked on the trailer diesel, humming like thunder under control. My driver, Pete, leaned out. We good, boss? We're good, I said, slow and steady, cameras on. I radioed the sheriff's deputy, who'd agreed to observe. He texted back a thumbs up. That was all I needed, presence, not intervention. We waited. No sign of Karen. I hit the air horn twice, sharp, polite warnings that echoed through the pines. Still nothing. Proceed, I told Pete. The truck crawled forward, gravel crunching under massive tires. The front bumper touched the Tesla's rear, a soft metallic kiss. Then, resistance. A pause. The kind of pause that makes the world hold its breath. Then came the sound, slow, grinding inevitability. Metal folded glass cracked and plastic snapped like brittle bone. The Tesla's rear end crumpled in on itself, silent except for the groan of surrender. That's when she came running. Hair wild, sunglasses, crooked voice shrill. You can't do this, she screamed, pounding on the side of her car. I climbed down from the cab, camera still rolling, and faced her across the wreckage. Karen, I said loud enough for every phone in the crowd to hear, you were warned. Certified letter. Posted signs. Recorded calls. You chose to ignore all of it. You'll pay for this, she shouted, tears streaking her mascara. The deputy stepped forward, looked over my footage, and said evenly, Ma'am, he gave you multiple legal notices. This is a civil incident. No crime here. Her jaw dropped. I'm the HOA vice president. I represent this community. The deputy raised an eyebrow. Not on this road, you don't. The crowd murmured. That line hit like a gavel. Her husband, Doug, showed up, disheveled, half-dressed, clutching his briefcase like a shield. He looked at the car, then at her. Brenda, he said her real name. You didn't read any of this, did you? I didn't think he'd actually. That's the problem, I cut in quietly. You didn't think. The cameras caught that line. By evening, the clip was online. HOA Karen gets her Tesla crushed by logging truck, justice served. The video went viral overnight. HOA forums lit up, news vans showed, neighbors whispered. Some called me a hero, others a lunatic. I didn't care. I'd played by every rule she'd twisted. Within days, the truth spilled out. Karen had forged fines, pocketed HOA fees, even billed yoga classes to community funds. The board voted her out in a public meeting. She tried to sue me, but her lawyer took one look at the evidence and said, You have no case. If you press this, you'll get sued instead. Her insurance denied the claim. Owner negligence. Her husband moved out. The house went up for sale. She tried one last TV interview, but when the reporter asked, Did you ignore multiple warnings? She froze, blinked twice, and muttered, I'd rather not discuss that. That's when I finally exhaled. For months that woman had stolen my time, my reputation, and my peace. Now all I heard was wind in the pines again. Not her voice, not her threats, not that electric car hum of entitlement. No champagne ending, no victory parade, just quiet, the kind you earn. Because in the end I didn't crush her car out of anger. I crushed the arrogance that thought it could rewrite boundaries. And if there's one thing I learned, it's this. Revenge feels good for a moment, but justice lasts.